Here we are, EBI 8. Gordon Ryan is on top of the world. He just submitted Keenan Cornelius, who arguably is the best guy in the world in jiu-jitsu at his weight. He's right up there, top 3, Keenan Cornelius. Gordon Ryan just submitted him in a 90-minute, no-time, submission-only match. It's historic, it's epic. Here he is, he's the EBI absolute champion, Gordon Ryan.
EBI 6 was by far the biggest tournament, in my opinion. Multiple Abu Dhabi medalists, Abu Dhabi champions. I knew it was the first time that EBI was going to be on Fight Pass, the first time that any tournament was going to be, any jiu-jitsu tournament was going to be streamed on Fight Pass. I had some nerves, but I knew I was supposed to lose anyway, so I wasn't really too nervous. I didn't really have anything to live up to, because I was just like a leg replacement, and no one really expected me to win. So I was relatively calm competing. Now it's just like returning as champion. There's some added pressure, obviously. There's a target on my back now. But at the same time, feeling very confident. I train with, two of the guys who win EBI pretty much every time, Eddie Cummings and Gary Tonin. I pick up a lot of stuff from them, drilling stuff from the back, attacking arm bars, defending the back, defending the arm bars. John has us run through these drills, and it helps a lot, I think. I'm just trying to get overall better. I think we have a pretty good strategy coming into EBI.
He's from the Danaher Death Squad. Those guys have the best leg locks right now. They're proving it. Event after event, you're seeing it. They are superior right now. The Danaher Death Squad are right there at the top, and they're beating everybody. They're beating IBJJF guys. They're beating 10th Planet guys. They're at the top.
Everyone knows us, obviously, for our leg locks, so those are always there. Me, I'm big on taking the back, finishing people from there. I pride myself in having pretty decent back takes. So between back takes and leg locks, those are probably my 2 strong points. For every EBI or any tournament where I know the competitors, I try to study who I think to be the best guys are in the bracket. More importantly, I just focus on the things that I'm going to do, just in general, and under whatever rule set I'm competing in, specifically EBI this time. Versus what my opponents are going to try to do to me. I'm always fighting for submissions. Hopefully give some of the other guys the incentive to really go for the submission and engage the whole time, make it exciting. That's what ultimately is going to bring views to the sport. And not just 2 guys just sitting on their butts, or 1 guy just pushing away the whole time. I'm hoping it'll bring some incentive to win for some guys. No one wants to win the whole tournament and not get any money, and they just spend some plane ticket out there, hotel, and whatever the case is.
Gordon Ryan may be he may be the best at his weight in the world. Pure no-gi submission only. Gordon Ryan competed in EBI 6. He did that on short notice, so we might see an even better Gordon Ryan in this show. He's got a couple guys that have beat him in previous matches in this tournament. They may go head-to-head. He might get his revenge right here. Aaron Tex Johnson beat Gordon Ryan in the gi before. Will Gordon get his revenge?
I've already beat Gordon Ryan once, so I would like to fight him again. I don't have one particular one. I want to hurt all of them and go after them all. I'm not gonna hold back to not submit somebody if I think I'm gonna get in a bad position. I work defense enough to usually not get submitted, but if I do, I do, but I'm gonna go for it. Regardless, I'm very aggressive, very strong. I feel like some guys do stall a lot in submission-only tournaments because they feel like, all I have to do is just not get submitted, but then when it comes to the overtime, that's when it's gonna find its way, to get to the submission or the escape. So they can't just stall out there. None of this really bothers me. I fought MMA professionally for 9 years, fought for Bellator, and got the fastest submission in Bellator history with a 15-second armbar. I went away from MMA altogether now, and I'm just focusing on jiu-jitsu here in New York with Team Unity. Train with the Meows. We have a great camp here. Everybody's focused on the same goals. It's kind of easy to be consistent here. I think my biggest problem in a lot of tournaments is I was never as consistent. I would fight MMA and then I would come back to jiu-jitsu, and then I would fight MMA, or I would fight MMA to afford to go to Worlds, and I never captured a gold medal at Worlds because I was usually having to fight to be able to afford to go to Worlds. So now I train pro training every day at noon, and then I'm doing 3 days a week, also supplemental lifting and strength and conditioning. We will fight it out. We will shake hands after.
Aaron Tex Johnson, he might have what it takes to get through Gordon Ryan and take this belt home. Josh Hayden's in the mix. He's a black belt who specializes in leg locks and actually is the last guy to submit Gordon Ryan. They may have their rematch right here. Gordon may have his shot at revenge. Josh Hayden's leg locks are right up there at the elite level, so what kind of effect will it have on Josh Hayden and his game and his strategy? We got Mike Hillebrand coming from 10th Planet San Francisco. Mike Hillebrand's been into leg locks his whole time, way before the new resurgence. He was always one of those leg lock assassins. EBI just became the spot for him, and we're gonna see just how good his leg locks are against the leg lockers in EBI. That's the elite levels.
Definitely the first time I saw it, I was like, man, I really hope they do a 185 division. And now it's my chance. You know, I mean, when I started jiu-jitsu, there was no money in jiu-jitsu. So for me, it's always been out of the love of doing it for the sport. With that being said, obviously I want the money, and I love how EBI is finally getting fighters pay for their tournaments and their competitions. You know, I think that's a really good thing that EBI is doing, is by putting that in the jiu-jitsu world. I didn't know that this was going to be the 185s. I had no idea about this EBI. All I know is I woke up one morning, had a text message, and it was from Eddie, and he's like, you're in. And I was like, whoa, all right, sweet, let the fun begin. I believe in posing the game that I have, and I just trust in my jiu-jitsu. Kind of just figured out what felt to me naturally, and then I really focused on those, and then just enjoyed the jiu-jitsu waves. I'm a black belt under Denny Prokopos. I met Denny, I want to say it was like 5 years ago or so. I really liked when I came to 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, and specifically under Denny, was his open-minded approach. You know, one of the things I love most about jiu-jitsu is figuring it out. You know, we're all jiu-jitsu nerds. We like creating things and thinking we have new moves, even though maybe someone else already created, but we're creating our own style, our own flows, and I really like how Denny always embraced that creativity to always make jiu-jitsu keep evolving. So I love that about it, and immediately I was really hooked, and I gotta say I'm probably the most supportive coach who's always there for me, and I really appreciate him. Once you go and have the tournament like this with these kind of rules set, having someone that's experienced that is priceless, you know? Knowing how their overtime rules play out. You can talk in theory of how you think the rules are gonna play out and how different rules are gonna be, but having someone that's actually been there and felt that, and then going and creating a game plan from there, that's priceless. I think I'll be fine, you know? I put in the hard work now, I envision what I envisioned, and now it's just a matter of keep putting the hard work in and let it all play out.
Devontae Johnson is one of those guys that I feel that has extreme potential in this sport, in EBI in particular.
I wasn't really like blown away or really like much interested in no-gi jiu-jitsu because I was only training gi jiu-jitsu at the time, but I thought it was like very different in like the leg entanglements, if you will. You know, that definitely caught my eye. But like I said, I was like more focused on like the more traditional, like, you know, watching, you know, Jacare or Marcelo Garcia.
I think he may be too green for this, maybe, but I'm giving him a shot anyways.
Well, Eddie Bravo Facebook messaged me, and he just pretty much said, do you want in on EBI? And I was like, why not? How could I say no?
I feel that he is part of the future EBI, and I'm gonna bring him in right now, and who knows, he may shock the world.
I try to stay very, like, calm and like mellow in terms of competition. I get very excited, but I don't really like change. I don't really do too much like thinking and like changing, like, oh, I'm doing this tournament, so I have to be this way. Kind of like being very flexible with my approach. I just kind of like go with the flow. As long as I get the finish or, you know, get the win, that's the most important thing to me. You know, like being able to like literally try to hurt someone with all your effort, but like they'll still be fine at the end of like, you know, the training session. It was like pretty like really good for me. It was almost therapeutic. And then when I did my first competition, I was just like hooked. You know, I stopped playing baseball, I stopped playing basketball, I stopped like boxing. I didn't do anything else. And even to this day, I really don't do anything else outside of training jiu-jitsu. And I train with some of the hardest working and like greatest people in the world. And that in and of itself is like motivation. And if anything, that gives me the drive that I need, that I feel, to always do well, no matter like what tournament I'm facing, regardless if it's EBI or, you know, some other tournament. I think that component in and of itself, like just being around good people who all have the same goal and who are all just trying to not like hide behind smokes and mirrors, but like wear it all on their chest, win or lose. I think that is what like gives me that edge, if you will.
Kyle Chambers also at 185 representing 10th Planet Oceanside under Gio Martinez is a brown belt.
I feel like Gio's been in these situations that he knows this experience, so it's just good to have that outlook and that experience from him. He lets me know what I need to do and how to perfect my technique, and it's no better feeling than having somebody that's already did it, done it well, and finished and won 2 EBIs. So it's just a good experience to have Gio around. Brings this attitude that you know you have to bring it or you're gonna get submitted. So every day you're working harder and harder just to be better, doing a little bit more than the other person just to even compete with Gio. It's mostly just mental training and repetition and just absorbing your material and be able to apply it in a life situation. I just love the competition and the aspect of just getting better every day. Jiu-jitsu gives you that discipline. It gives you a whole different mindset, a different outlook on the world. After jiu-jitsu, I feel like you see the world different ways. After the first tournament, it's that adrenaline rush that I gotta beat you, that one-on-one aspect that either I'm gonna win or I'm gonna lose, you know? I can't depend on anybody else but myself. And just that kind of feeling just motivates me, and I just loved it. I fell in love with jiu-jitsu and just made me want to keep doing it and over again.
He was one of those guys that was always into leg locks way before the big leg lock revival. Kyle Chambers was doing leg locks from day one. He just was drawn to it. Very intricate and complex, and all his inversion setups and strikes.
I can't say that I like the game to come to me, but I'm patient, you know? Like, I'm not gonna force anything, but if it breaks, I'll take it, you know? I'm not picky. Legs, arms, neck. Love just the aspect of submission only, and that it's only 10 minutes and then go to overtime. So now people gotta think they can't stall no more, you know? You have to engage, because if not, we're just gonna go to overtime and we're gonna be getting some dead zone drills. So it's just like, I love that aspect of it. There's no way around it. You're gonna have to engage, no stalling, just heartbreak, sweat, tears, everything in it. I love it.
He poses a big threat to anybody. It's gonna be very hard to leg lock him. He's super strong. He may be too green. We're gonna find out, and I do know that he will be a black belt eventually, and he will be an EBI star eventually.
Of course, it makes me a little nervous that the whole world's watching, but I feel like it brings a new side of me. It makes me even more hungry, because now I know the world's watching. I can't mess up. I can't afford to take it easy, you know? I'm gonna have to put in that extra credit. I gotta do the 2 days, the 3 days. When everybody else is asleep, I know I have to work, just because I know what I need to bring to the table. It's not like any other competition. You can't just half-ass it. You can't just, you know, go through the motions. Like, you gotta put in that work. You gotta do the 3 days, gotta drill for hours, you gotta eat well, you gotta do everything. You gotta be the complete package to come into EBI. And I feel like that's just a whole nother beast. There's a whole new level to it, and I love it. Some people say I've been training 6 years, I've been training 9 years, but have you been training every day? You know, that's the difference. I train every day. You know, I don't really take days off like that. So it's like, what I'm gonna bring is just a new style to the game. I want to just show them my style. I feel like you can learn the same technique and have a different style. You can have the same class and everybody learn the same technique, but you can apply it different ways. I want to show the world how I apply my jiu-jitsu and my skills. Everybody has different styles, so you constantly have to evolve your game to get better. You can't keep doing the same things or you're gonna get caught. And I feel like that's jiu-jitsu, and that could be life. You know, you got to change stuff up once in a while, and I feel like this is the perfect opportunity to show that.
UFC veteran Greg Soto jumps in the mix.
I think all too often the guys that compete in jiu-jitsu only tournaments, they have a jiu-jitsu background, they totally forget the self-defense aspect of jiu-jitsu. Having my jiu-jitsu based around mixed martial arts, it's a fight. I mean, I'm looking to take them down, hard takedowns, pressure passing, finish with a submission. I'm not looking to play the point game. The sub-only mindset, the sub-only aspect of this game, it's the preeminent level. It's the cleanest form of sport you could ever possibly get to, right? 2 guys are going in there, 1 person's giving up. My favorite techniques are taking the back, looking for the rear naked choke, and transitioning to arm locks from pretty much every position. I like upper body attacks. I'm familiar with the leg lock game, but I'm just not a big fan of it. While I'm not a huge proponent of leg locks, I respect them. It's just not something I'm particularly interested in. I'd rather attack an arm or attack the neck or take the back. That being said, we have ramped up our training of leg locks. I've brought in leg lock specialists. I'm going to be traveling in the next month to train specifically with leg lock specialists. and let the cards fall where they may. If they want to attack my feet, I'll engage them there, but we're going to be looking to get after it. If it goes to 10 minutes, I'm training for multiple overtimes. We're anticipating the overtimes. I'm good from the back. I'm good from the armbar position. The Eddie Bravo Invitational rule set is the best. It's the purest form of sport you can get. Orpheum Theatre just looks like a sick venue. Nobody's doing it like that. These big crowds, lots of energy, lots of promotion. This is going to be 8, right? EBI 8. Say they have 16-man tournaments. You're talking less than 150 people in the world have competed in this tournament. It's truly elite, and I'm looking forward to being a part of it. I've had countless of hours of my life spent at tournaments, so I'm looking forward to this one. It's truly the most prestigious in the world. You got those 10-minute rounds, 3 overtimes. I'm looking to embrace the grind. We're gonna get after it. I'd be incredibly proud to become EBI's first middleweight champion. Right now I'm sitting comfortably at 194 pounds. The weight cut shouldn't be an issue. 16 guys, everyone invited to this tournament, and for good reason. That being said, I wanna get after Gordon Ryan. He won the last tournament, he's defending his title, he's got the prestige of the Danaher Death Squad, everyone's afraid of him, everyone thinks he's all that. I want to get after him, I want to test myself, I want to test him. We'll see what he's got.
EBI 6 veteran Felipe Fogolin returns, and this is his fighting weight. He was short notice at EBI 6, got a tough draw against Gary Tonin. Anybody can tap Gary Tonin, he's right there at the top of the world.
I remember thinking, wow, these guys, they go for the feet a lot. That was one of my first thoughts. I remember both guys pulling guard and trying to go for the heel hooks right away, and I was like, that's totally different than any other tournaments that I've ever done. Didn't have so much time to train specifically for this show, just for submissions only, foot locks, but this time I have a lot more time to train specifically for it. It's my weight division, so I'm pretty excited to, go in there and perform. I really like the concept that you don't have to worry about points. You don't have to worry about, making a mistake, that's just a little mistake that's gonna be crucial, like letting the guy pass your guard or anything like that. You only have to worry about not getting submitted and to go after the submission, which is the main goal in jiu-jitsu. Make your opponent tap. EBI adds foot locks, heel hooks, techniques that you're not able to do if you go to IBJJF tournament, gi or no gi, So I really like to play with these new techniques. I like training all aspects of martial arts. I like training with the gi a lot because that's my roots. I like training judo. Sometimes I go train judo at some places, train with my students. Jiu-jitsu with gi, no gi, Muay Thai, boxing, MMA, I like to do them all. I like to be well-rounded, so if I, at my gym, if any, to have the knowledge to show to my students, have the knowledge to help everybody out in my school. I don't know, it's hard to say that I like one more than the other, but that's the part that I like the most from Jiu-Jitsu with no gi. It's to be able to move a little bit more freely and have more scrambles, and in those scrambles, if you have a better time, you train the most, you can, get the techniques and go for the submission.
We're gonna see Felipe again. I love his attitude, I love what he's all about. He's a former judo black belt. He started jiu-jitsu as a black belt and progressed rather quickly in jiu-jitsu because of his judo, and that's just natural. And he's a IBJJF no-gi world champion.
It's only you fighting over there. Everybody's focusing on you. It's showing on Fight Pass. It's good exposure. It's, my family in Brazil can go on Fight Pass and watch it. Not many tournaments they can do that. That's why I really, really like their concept and their tournament. I think my style is moving forward. My style is to try to smash and pass and moving forward to get to the submission. I don't hang around too much and and measure my options and my routes. I like to go. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I'm learning how to dose my energy and not just go and get tired, So go, get a good position and, but always looking for the submission, always looking to get a better position on my opponent before I can stop, before I can stop and, regain and breathe and regain my strength.
The dark horse of this event has got to be Kyle Griffin. Now, this guy's technically a purple belt, but he's been wrestling his whole life, wrestled 3 years at Oklahoma State. He's a certified beast. I've seen him dismantle people in front of my eyes. Kyle Griffin, make no mistake about him, he tapped out John Fitch in a super match. He beat Romulo Barão in Abu Dhabi. Kyle Griffin beat Romulo Barão in Abu Dhabi. That's a huge accomplishment. Romulo is one of the best guys in the world at jiu-jitsu. And so here enters Kyle Griffin. He's kept a purple belt. He's beating all these black belts because his coach, Drysdale, is one of those coaches that won't promote unless you wear the gi. And a lot of guys are like that, and everyone's got their reasons, and that's all. It's a beautiful thing. But technically, no gi, he's beating black belts. He's in the black belt level. His technique is.
Bunch of good guys, guys that like Gordon Ryan have won the tournament before, and then other tough guys who won a bunch of the other regional jiu-jitsu tournaments, and I think it's going to be tough to win each match. Watch some of the matches and you see what guys are doing to win and what guys are being successful with, and then situations that you want to avoid, and you spend extra time on the back in the armbar position. But I think it has to be something you're comfortable with. I train very similarly year-round, so the only difference is a little extra conditioning, and we'll focus on some of the positions that I've seen in the tournament that I think keep coming up pretty regularly. The exciting part about this tournament compared to the rest of jiu-jitsu, the rest of jiu-jitsu doesn't really have a lot of money, and this is a chance to win money that can change your life and do a lot of good. So I think it's really exciting to be able to compete on Fight Pass and have a chance to be exposed to the rest of the world and be able to be a professional jiu-jitsu athlete.
EBI veteran Matt Secor returns.
This tournament's completely different than any other tournament that's going on right now. I competed in EBI 3. My first match was against Nathan Orchard. He's a 10th planet black belt. He has this signature move. He calls it the Dead Orchard. He put me in that twice. It was fairly tight. I survived. I got out of both of them. Started to do a little bit progress in position, and then we went into overtime, and he beat me in the overtime matches. I took it in a fairly quick notice. I was actually only a brown belt at the time. This time I'm going to be ready to go. I'm going to adapt to everything that we can. I got a lot more time to prepare now. Last tournament was at 170. I'm a fairly big guy for 170. I cut a lot of weight for 170, so this one's at 185, so I'll have a little bit more size on me, and we'll be able to smash heads with the best. I'm ready to adapt and overcome anything that comes in my way in this tournament. I think that's what high-level jiu-jitsu is. You want to keep your own style, but at the same time be ready for everything and be able to adapt. And I think that's what makes the best people the best. They're the ones that can adapt in a split second. Obviously, hopefully you end it within the regulation. It's a lot easier said than done. I mean, I'm going to go in there. If you tell me I'm going to go in there and submit all 4 people, and get the $20,000, that's the goal, but it's like going into a fight and saying, hey, let's see a knockout. Well, we're at a very high level, and there's a lot of good guys, and there's a lot of factors in these and a lot of adjusting to do. You have to evolve. You have to train what everyone else is training. You have to get good at what everyone else is getting good at. And so my jiu-jitsu evolves. Do I like the other guys? I love them. It gets a guy to tap out. Do I like upper body attacks? Yes, I love upper body attacks. Do I like to choke people? 100% I like to choke people. But you have to evolve. You have to look at what's working for other people and pick it out and put it into your style. You have to be able to progress in life. That's not just counting in jiu-jitsu, that's life. As a father, as a husband, as a son, as a brother. I want to progress every day. I want to get better every day. And I have gotten better. And I learned from my mistakes. And I made a mistake in EBI 3. You're gonna see the best me. I'm gonna go out there and give you everything I got. I like submission only, man. It's true. It's still strategic though, A lot of guys will just last till the overtime and try to win the overtime rounds. So strategic ways, both ways, but I like submission only, and then they give you a incentive. They give you $5,000 if you submit them.
Since EBI 1, people have said to me and asked me, what if there's a fighter who wants to just win in overtime by defense, and he has incredible defense. He wins every match in overtime by fastest escape time. But now we do have a guy Eduardo Telles, who wants to win with his defense.
Yeah, I believe in the overtime, I believe, like I can maybe win by escaping, I have good defense. I have some good attacks too, but I think I defend well.
Instead of that being a problem for EBI, it's a challenge for EBI. It's actually a matchup in itself.
Just surviving and escaping, and trying to escape faster.
Like, what's that gonna look like? We got a guy in there openly, publicly saying he's going to win by defense.
Whatever, it's a strategy. I don't know. I'm good with defenses. I think I can survive. I know they're tough,
He's got incredible defense, and that's what he's known for. He plays turtle guard. If you're gonna play turtle guard, your back defense is gotta be insane.
I'm a little bit, like, lazy. Yeah, I need to say that. Yeah, I'm a little, so I try to do things the easier way possible. Try to, like, flow as much as possible, so I don't use my power, right? I use the guy's power so I can save my energy. Like I said, I'm good with defense, and I like long matches. It's really hard to submit someone, especially if there's no, like, points involved. People don't care about points, don't care, sometimes they gotta give you, like, a good position so they cannot tap. And they don't care, because there's no points involved. So it's harder to submit, so everyone wants to, be invited and compete, I think it's really fun, the format, man, you should compete, Telles, you should compete, And one day he came, man, you wanna compete? I say, yeah, man, let me check. Then when I came back to him, I say, yeah, I can do it, I wanna do it. And he said, man, now there's someone in the spot, and maybe a week later, he told me, man, the guy dropped, someone dropped, you wanna do it? I said, man, of course. I think Jiu-Jitsu here, it's really evolving a lot. Brazil, it's a little bit more traditional maybe, but of course they sometimes create things and they also, do all the things that like people create here. I think maybe here, in San Diego or in California, it's a little bit, like ahead of Brazil right now. I think it's just Jiu-Jitsu. That's it, yeah. Like I don't care, if it's gi or no gi. I really like both. I see no reason, for people don't letting, like you rip and not even do heel hooks with the gi for black belts. But yeah, it's a really good submission, heel hooks. It's allowed in UFC, right? So people should train.
IBJJF star Lucas Rocha returns to EBI 8 in his true weight class. He's a veteran of EBI 6. Fought Matthias Dennis, that was a war. But now I'm bringing him back. I love his attitude. He's coming back. He's doing his true weight category, 185. We're gonna see a different Lucas Rocha this time.
He ended up competing on the EBI 6, and we're like open class, which I like as well, But I think now with this weight division, it's gonna be putting everyone right on the same page. If you have like a submission-only tournament without with this type of overtime to have a decision, it's gonna take forever. Depending who is fighting, it's gonna be too boring. I love Jiu-Jitsu, but if you have like a submission-only tournament without this type of overtime to have a decision, when the fight start taking like too long, I lose interest. And as a spectator, even worse. The overtime it's important, right? You're gonna get out with the winner. And about having people starting with your arm or on your back, well, those are the rules. You have the same chance, right? I fought one before, and I had someone's back, and the guy managed to get out, and he had my back, and he ended up submitting me. That was it, right? That's no excuse. That's how it is. I had my chance, and I lost it. So that's my fault, I believe. I'm a type of person that I don't come up with excuse, and I don't blame people. That's too easy. I'd rather train harder and get better. For the people who doesn't really train those types of submission like heel hooks and calf slides and stuff like that, if you're going to EBI, you might be in trouble. Nothing, of course, is 100%. As we can compare with the MMA, right? If you go out there, you're going to an MMA fight and you don't know Jiu-Jitsu, that's the same thing, in my opinion. The more you know, the better you are, right? That's what I do. Also, I don't like the fact of sometimes people believing like, oh no, Jiu-Jitsu is like sport Jiu-Jitsu, or no, that's self-defense. I think, in my opinion, Jiu-Jitsu is everything, right? As I see, like I train a little bit of like, I can say MMA, self-defense, and sport Jiu-Jitsu. Okay, I do everything, and I believe Jiu-Jitsu is all of that. If you're just thinking, no, Jiu-Jitsu is just self-defense, or Jiu-Jitsu is just like for MMA, or Jiu-Jitsu just as a sport Jiu-Jitsu. People who doesn't watch or never watch it, EBI, I highly recommend you to watch that, because well, you have the rules that is completely different. I can guarantee you haven't seen anything like that in terms of competition. And the athletes, right? The competitors, the huge names out there. It's gonna be fun, right? And it's a submission-only tournament. We had some submission-only tournaments before, and well, for some reason they are not here anymore. And EBI is keeping up. They are giving a good support for the athletes. But you definitely gotta check it out. Good thing about this EBI is because you guys are bringing the Eduardo Teles. I'm a big fan of him. Well, I was just a juvenile when he was already a black belt, and he was competing, and I was traveling and watching him, and everybody mentioning his name, and well, good times. And well, I ended up fighting him as a black belt. I lost by points. Was another tournament, and you guys are bringing him to EBI. I think the rules gonna help him a lot, right? He has a game that's very good on the defense, and it's gonna be interesting to watch him. And well, hopefully I will have the honor to face him again. I can pretty much guarantee he's gonna be on the finals, and I'm giving my best to be there as well. So well, don't miss that. It's gonna be insane.
Right from the get-go, opening match of the night, just because Gordon Ryan is EBI absolute champion, he goes first, and man, he goes against Matt Arroyo, UFC veteran. That right there is a super fight. First, to kick off the card, in your face, it's gonna be a war. Battle of two styles in EBI. You're seeing the leg lock game against the anti-leg lock game. You're seeing some leg lock masters like Eddie Cummings just destroying with leg locks, and then you're seeing other guys smashing through and staying away from leg locks. And it all depends on the level of your opponent and the matchup. But it's becoming a game of leg locks versus anti-leg locks, right in the same tournament, going head to head. And in my opinion, you gotta have both.
Jiu-Jitsu evolves every day. Every single day, I learn something new. Or something old that I forgot.
I'm not planning on going to overtime. My game is definitely to push the pace, impose my game, and just have fun with it.
Going after your feet, hands, elbows, neck, everything.
Honestly, I'm so humbled, man. I just want to get the best experience. I feel like the best of the world is here. So I want to be the best in the world, so I'm definitely going to bring it.
Money's great, but I love competing, and I love just doing jiu-jitsu.
The money honestly doesn't really affect me, because at the end of the day, as long as I got a roof over my head and food on the table, I'm fine, because money doesn't equate to happiness. You can go out there and win a $20,000 tournament, and you can feel like it was just another ordinary day. If it's not fulfilling, then it doesn't matter how much money you have.
Well, I prefer the title, right? The title stays forever. The money you spend fast, right?
But well, we'll see, huh? We gotta be there. Who knows? I don't know what's gonna happen.
There's a buzz about the EBI that there isn't about other jiu-jitsu tournaments, and I think it makes it exciting to be part of that new, fresh buzz.
This is my first year at black belt, and this is my first chance of getting to compete against anyone of his caliber.
Make sure you tune into the Middleweight Tournament, Eddie Bravo Invitational 8, Sunday, September 11th on UFC Fight Pass.
This is EBI 8, the Middleweights.